Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love Match Atlanta, Season 1, Episode 4. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. So the episode starts with Ming's client who's getting prepped for a date. This guy's name is Scott. He's the bar owner. And although I understand image consulting, I feel like there should be a level of keeping up the same energy, you know? So I'm seeing them dress this guy in the suits, and although he does look dapper, he's not a dapper Dan. So I feel like you're kind of setting him up for failure because this isn't an image that he can uphold, and it does come into play later, but I thought that was interesting. I like that they like to vamp up their client's image, but I think they should also put in work on how to maintain an image that is sustainable in a relationship. Shay has a new client and her name is Angela. She is a 60-year-old personal assistant who has trust issues, and at first I was skeptical, but honestly it's rightfully so. She has encountered a lot of men who only seek sexual favors from her, and one of those men actually assaulted her.
She's stopping you from experiencing the love that you truly deserve, and you deserve love. And I want you to release her and let her go, okay? Okay. All right.
Now, a lot of you guys know the story of my sexual assault on multiple occasions. And I love the exercise that Shay had her client do, well, her potential client, because she wasn't able to be taken on, because the healing still has to be done, right? But I like that the exercise was write a letter to yourself, freeing yourself from that experience, telling yourself that, hey, you did not deserve that. There's nothing that you did that put yourself in that situation. And ultimately, that does not define who you are. I've said it before and I've said it again. The shame that you experience is not the shame for you to hold on to. It's not the shame for you to define who you are going forward. Like, that's their business to hold. That's their guilt to hold. Your responsibility is to heal and move forward, right? And so I'm glad they had this conversation, but it's clear that this is still a sore subject for her, and maybe dating isn't the right thing to do at this moment, especially considering the dating game as it is. And I feel like no matter the age group that you're in, right now, this seems like a very casual dating type of atmosphere. And child, if you've just gone through like all of that, something like someone who's open to casual dating might put you off or might trigger you to some of the traumas that you did not fully deal with yet. So yeah, I agree with Shay in saying that this is not the time. In Shay's personal life, however, she is finally ready to get back in the dating scene. We saw her in the last episode reaching out to the duo for matchmaking services, and she's talking to her son about why she wants to start dating again, and he's not really having it.
I definitely want a good father figure for Ava.
I would probably do those things for her because I
As her big brother.
innately want her best interest at heart.
I think she's gonna definitely get that.
I thought it was cute, but it also broke my heart. It breaks my heart that in a lot of cases, a single mother who has a son, the son tends to want to be the man of the household, when in reality, that's not your responsibility. That's not your burden to carry. And I thought it was noble that he wanted to be the role model in Ava's life, but you're still a child. Go to school, do child things, like experience the things that you're supposed to experience right now. And when it's time for you to be a father figure, you will be that. I'm glad that she made that clear to him. Moving forward, the duo did come over, but she also had Lamont over, which I feel like is a conflict of interest because he's also a matchmaker. So he's going to intervene, right? When it's not his place. I don't know. It's not me, it's them. So it is what it is, right? But here is where I understand image consulting. The duo wanted to see how Shay would show up during a date, like how she would dress. And she brought out something that was very sexy. Okay, the Catwoman suit was very nice, very, very nice. But the thing is, it came out of her closet. So this is an image that she's able to uphold throughout a relationship because these are her clothes. This is how she shows up anyways. And I think like that's where Ming kind of missed the mark. The image consulting is great, but you got to give this person a whole entire wardrobe makeover if that's what you're trying to do. So back to Scott. He did go on a date and it seemed like it went very well. However, his date had a different experience. She said that near the end of the date, he got a work emergency, but the way that he discarded her was displeasing.
I expected him to say something like, can I walk you to your car? Or, do you want to walk out together? What? He left.
I'm telling you, he's not a Dapper Dan, okay? The decorum, we're looking for it. So I hope that Ming adopts some image consulting that also can permeate into the person's like day-to-day lifestyle, because I could show up one day amazing and the rest of my life I'm a I was about to say a hoe bag. I don't know why hoe bag came to my mind. But since I've already said it twice, I'll say it again. What if the rest of my life I'm a hoe bag and now you fell for somebody who was just a representative and then you feel bamboozled when the true me comes out? That's not cute. So the duo has another client on top of Shay named G, who is 42 and tends to cut men off that she deems unworthy. I hate that verbiage so much. I understand where it comes from, but it also makes it seem like you're God's gift to humanity. And how dare somebody come in and waste your time? Reality, we are all God's gift to humanity. And how dare somebody waste our time, but like you're just don't act like your shit don't stink. Like I don't like people who are self-righteous, and she's giving me self-righteous, okay? So they line up a date for her, but her reaction was very lackluster.
What do you think? Okay.
So see the difference when we showed them, you're like, okay.
It's hard to let the guard down so soon, so fast.
Right, but we don't have that type of time. Men aren't waiting for you.
Men aren't waiting for you is a harsh statement, but it is true. It is true. We all have our own lives. We all have businesses we're tending to. We all have other things we could be doing. So don't act like somebody's just going to be waiting on you hand and foot until you deem them worthy, and then you can start a relationship. I just feel like G is going in with already a bad perspective on dating, and it's going to lead to a very sour experience. So fast forward to the date itself. Dion was met with a very standoffish G. I don't like that she goes by G. I feel like go by her name, but it's okay. It's okay. Which made it hard for them to connect.
Of course, I'm single by choice.
You might be a monster behind closed doors.
Okay.
And I don't want your breath to be tarred while I'm talking to you. We're just gonna move these off to the side right here.
So you're gonna tell me not to eat my
Please
onions?
don't eat your onions. Not tonight.
Now, in her defense, he was saying some stuff that would put me off too. Like, don't tell me how to eat my food. Don't do these reactions when I tell you, like when I answer a question that you ask me, and you're blowing up the situation, like, oh, you're putting me off, right? But the problem is, dating takes practice, right? And so you're not gonna always be met with the perfect person. And honestly, the greater lesson is that even if you were to meet the perfect person, you do kind of have to date. I don't know why I'm still talking while rubbing my eye. I'm so sorry. You do still have to learn how to flirt, learn how to be cordial, learn how to be lighthearted when the situation isn't really going the way that you thought it would, because you might miss out on potential. I don't think Dion was potential, just in the way that their personalities clash. It just wasn't going to work. But I wanted to see her be a little bit softer, just flirt a little bit, see how it goes, go with the motions, and then at the end just be like, okay, yeah, no, this was great, but we're just not meant for each other. We can go our separate ways. Her cutting off people so damn quick is irritating. And it's funny too, because she emphasizes how her time is important, and she kind of was disappointed with the duo and that they matched her with somebody who she deemed as clearly unfit for her. But it's like, everybody's time is precious, babes. The matchmaker's time is precious in taking the time to put somebody for you on this date. And then the guy's time is precious for taking out time out of his schedule to come and meet with you. The least you could do is respect everybody's time and give it a proper try. I also wanted to say too, before I move on from that, I think in a lot of cases when it comes to dating, we think that, if I don't see this person as the perfect person for me out the gate, then, they're not for me. But we neglect the fact that a lot of people are looking at us and we might not measure up to their checklist either, but they are giving themselves grace by experiencing us, right? And so you're cutting off this person thinking that you are perfect, not realizing that they have already looked over maybe 5 or 10 things about you that typically they wouldn't go for, right? And say she was experiencing the opposite, where people were discounting her off the bat. She would be very jaded when it comes to dating. She would be very pessimistic. She would think there's something wrong with her, potentially. She would think there's something wrong with men altogether, but when she's the one doing it, she doesn't see an issue. And I'm like, yeah, her mentality altogether needs to be changed. I wonder if that's what led to her divorce too. Like maybe the person, because I think she's the one who's divorced with the son. Maybe the person didn't measure up to what she thought he should and therefore counted him out instead of them really working through their issues. I would dig into that if I was the duo. Just the thought. So speaking of time wasting, Precious is talking about Precious. I kid you not, I cannot get this woman's name right for the life of me. Paris. Her name is Paris. I think in the last episode I called her April. Ciao. So April Precious Paris is talking about marriage to Joseph and that, hey, time is ticking.
If it doesn't come, then I'm leaving because I'm not spending the best years of my life waiting on someone to marry me.
Luckily for her, he wants to marry her, but are they prepared to be married? Because if what Shay is saying about them is true, they have this tumultuous relationship where when they're good, they're really good, but when they're bad, they're not so great, right? And with her being a partial owner of his company, and when they're not in a good space, he'll remove her from the website and then he'll put her back on when they're good and then remove her again when they're fighting. I'm just like, it seems like we're missing a lot of steps here. Okay, how about counseling to begin with? I feel like a lot of people equate time to engagement when really it's about the connection that you have with this person, the kind of conversations you've had, the compatibility, the feasibility, the everything. There's so much that goes into getting married to a person. And when you just think, I've spent this much time, time is ticking, you end up 10 years into the marriage looking back at like, well, damn, that was a mistake. And now what time has been wasted? The 1 year that you thought was a waste of time if it didn't end in marriage, or the 10 years you wasted in marriage when you could have married the right person from the get-go. Also, just a thought. At the end of the episode, we see Ming preparing for her. It was a birthday party, but it was also branding. So it was like a birthday branding. It was a birthday brand. Wow, I did not expect this to be a tongue twister. It was a birthday branding bash. Okay. And, her and her husband are kind of estranged at the moment. However, the excuse that she gave for why he's not attending, I was like, now, honey.
Don't worry about hubby. I know he wasn't feeling good, so.
I don't know what he ate this afternoon and it just made him sick. And I was you know what? Don't even worry about it.
Word.
It's clear this man wants nothing to do with the show, the fact that they don't show his face, and it's potential that he wants nothing to do with his wife either. But, leave the excuses, okay? So even with the absence of her husband, she's still adamant on not inviting Shay to the party. Shay didn't even know there was a party until Lamont dropped the news on her. But honestly, Lamont's a little bit of shady boots.
Whose birthday party?
Ming! You have an invitation. Check your email. I guess you felt some type of way about your interaction with Paris. I think she was alluding that you might be ghetto.
So how is Lamont going to throw something out in the air knowing that Ming does not vibe with Shay, and then is going to say, you're probably not invited because she didn't like how you acted and maybe she thinks that you're ghetto and did. Listen, keep your eyes open for Lamont, okay? Because Lamont done set your girl up with a bisexual. And there's nothing wrong with being bisexual, but bisexuality does not equal freakiness, okay? And also, she wanted a hood professional. He was not that. Now you got him. He was talking to Joseph the other day after y'all had your little spat. Now he's talking to Ming after the Joseph spat. I'm like, watch out for Lamont. That is it for this episode. Again, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.